Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Strategic Command World War I, Fury Software's newest game, and episode number 18 in our Allied Let's Play series. We have managed to break up the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The Ottoman Empire's morale is faltering, but we really haven't engaged them a whole lot. Their morale is mainly falling because Germany is being overwhelmed slowly in the west. We've almost liberated all of Belgium. There's just one German unit left in Belgium, and we are in the process of beginning to push east on the Western Front. That being said, they do still have some fight in them. They have been destroying some of our lead units. We had taken Cologne and pushed as far as Dortmund at one point, and the Germans have managed to stop and drive us back. But as soon as Belgium falls, then, you know, what's left of these forces here just need to reinforce, and then they can race east to reinforce the losses there. Meanwhile, with the fall of Austria-Hungary, the Russian forces, which have yet to be tempted by revolution, thanks in large part to quite a bit of success on the battlefield, have been entirely turned loose on eastern Prussia. We've gained quite a bit of success in eastern Prussia, driving to the doorstep of Königsberg, and we have also surrounded Lutz, and we're pushing the Germans out, or trying to push them out, of Poland. That being said, they do have an advantage over us in open field fighting, in technology and doctrine, and so a lot of these units that are in the open now and not in trenches are taking heavy losses, and the Germans have been destroying quite a few Russian units, but we do have the advantage at the moment of Russian numbers, and so as a result, we've had some success still. Let's actually see about... Let's advance these troops to Katowice. Let's advance these troops on the rail line south of there. Move this cavalry formation forward. And so we have surrounded a corps at Lutz, although I would not be surprised if we take a counterattack from this German force near Breslau. Also, the German troops north near Kutuno have been giving us some fits. We've been holding on this defensive line, but these troops who are in the open and a bit exposed are in a little bit of a troublesome situation. Meanwhile, several German railguns exist, and then there's a strong German force south of Königsberg as well, all very well dug in. That being said, German morale is down to 14%, so this could be a relatively short battle. Russian morale is very good. It's at 89%. The destruction of the Austro-Hungarian Empire and our successes in Serbia has ensured that Russian morale really hasn't gotten into a bad spot or anything like that. With that being said, the Serbians do have 503 income left at the moment, so I don't think it's ever going to come to a point where it matters, but I am going to go ahead and give the Serbians some industrial research. So we've got a whole bunch of Serbian money that's just kind of burning a hole in our pocket. We'll spend 3 chits on industrial technology research. We'll spend, I think, probably 3 more chits on production technology as well, which should increase the overall capacity of our industry. And then we will spend our remaining 50 chits on... Probably should have spent it on trench warfare a while ago. That seems like the best investment, probably. Well, actually, let's just pocket it. We can always spend it on something else next turn. Serbia has a max max research amount of 900. The British are currently spending 600 on research of a total of 1,600. The French are at 1,500 of 1,600. The French are like technical wizards at this moment, at least on the Allied side, because we have so much money for the French, actually. German morale continues to sort of be on and off again, boosted by the use of unrestricted submarine warfare, but the Americans continue to protest, and it is steadily swinging them toward the Entente. They're up to 41% mobilized now. Meanwhile, foreign ministers are reporting quite a bit of success in Bulgaria, turning them further and further away from the Central Powers, so that it's very unlikely Bulgaria would join the war at this point, unless we decide to declare war on them because we want to take some territory from them, which is certainly something I'd consider. Erich Maria Remarque is conscripted into the German army. Lenin finishes writing Imperialism, the highest stage of capitalism. Former Chief of Staff Helmut von Moltke dies at age 68. Victor Chapman becomes the first U.S. pilot to die in the war, presumably fighting in the French forces. UK develops fighter technology level 2, trench warfare level 3, tank level 2 for the French, which still can't build tanks despite armored warfare being developed. Trench level 3, command and control for the Russians jumps up to 100%, so that'll be good. Command and control level 2, that'll be good for us. Also, trench warfare level 3 also will be good for us. I don't know why Belgium would move their government to... Why would they move their government there after we've already taken Brussels? That doesn't make sense. Let's see what the Germans have in store for us. All right, they're going to send another surface warship up to the northern blockade line. Unless they're going to send the rest of their high seas fleet up there, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Meanwhile, some reinforcements being put together on some of these front lines, all over the front, actually. Some in Lutz, some in the German front. You can see some German blimp bombers are trying to hit some of our headquarters units, and at Warsaw... We've got some Russian escorts, but the German technology for their air power is actually a little bit better than ours. Meanwhile, you can see that lead French units getting hit hard by German artillery. German railguns are also hitting troops on the eastern front. Counterattack out of Aeroplane does some damage to that lead Russian formation. That lead French corps is destroyed, which kind of sucks. That Russian corps takes some serious casualties but hasn't been destroyed yet. Meanwhile, the lead British corps is also being destroyed. So the Germans are grinding us back on the Western Front. We're losing very heavy casualties there. We'll see. Another Russian unit's destroyed. If this becomes a war of attrition... I mean, it kind of was a war... And they just destroyed a British unit there. We're losing a lot of casualties here. I wonder what the impact will be on morale. Nothing dramatic, I don't think. 3 or 4 corps lost in a turn isn't the end of the world, but it is a little bit concerning that we've had very little success. Now, a lot of our frontline French troops are not upgraded yet to level 1 tech. That's because we haven't been able to pull them off the front line, but as soon as we do, I think that will change some of these combat results that we're seeing here to be a little bit more favorable for us. But they're steadily pushing us back into Belgium out of Germany. Okay, so it looks like the end of the German turn. The Germans are suffering some attrition damage. What were they at? 14%? So we'll have to take a look and see what they're at now. Also, the Norwegian convoys keep getting hit by our subs, so we're kind of doing to them what the Germans are doing to us. We'll have to see if that's moving them toward the Central Powers at all. Some intelligence. To further our campaign in Mesopotamia, we could provide local commander at Basra with sufficient reinforcements to enable his headquarters and the Tigers Corps to take the field. Yeah. Give me troops in Mesopotamia. Meanwhile, France has 2 artillery units and Russia has a submarine online. So Russian morale is still at 88%. Germany's at 13%, so it's still falling, presumably because of the blockade against them. All right, we'll destroy this Ottoman detachment here. All right, we'll swap these guys and then upgrade these guys to their infantry weapons. Okay. Let's reinforce that artillery as well. Alright, so that's going to do it for the Caucasus front. Meanwhile, on the Eastern front, what do we have going for us here? Lutz is surrounded. We can destroy it now. We'll use a garrison there to finish off Lutz. Take the city, move in behind or move onto the side of the German position here. And then try and destroy this cavalry unit. We succeeded. Destroy that German corps. Alright, we'll make some contact with some fighters, but we're just directly adjacent to Bromeg, which is a national morale center. I can't quite get up there with my cavalry, unfortunately. I wonder if Posen is unoccupied. All right, so we're completely flanking this Prussian position here. Do we want to sprint for Posen? I guess they have something there. Let's reinforce, or I guess just entrench these guys. So we've got level 3 trenches for the Russians now, which should make things a little bit easier for us. Alright, we'll attack this headquarter unit, try and do a little bit of damage to it. And pull our troops in that direction. Thank you very much for the follow Palm Tree Life. Appreciate the support. Okay. Alright, so they do have troops at Posen. My other cavalry unit here was able to detect that. We'll have these troops attack this headquarter unit again. Move that artillery forward. Alright, so we're forming up our line here in the south where we're advancing. We're also trying to get our cavalry on these roads here to start breaking out on this other flank. Move this headquarters up to Lutz. Gonna need to bring in some additional reinforcements, but I've got some units ready so we can operate some of these troops to the front. Let's do this. Can we sprint these guys over? No. Alright. We will move these guys here. And then we'll shift our line a little bit. I can operate some troops into those forts. Oops, not that unit. They're not at 1. Alright, these guys are going to be a little bit of a weak link at 53 readiness, but there's only one direction the Germans can attack them from, and there's more tempting targets like these unentrenched troops that are flanking and getting around their rear. Doesn't look like any of these troops along here can entrench. They can entrench. Why do some of the guys down here get the like real deep entrenchments? Maybe it's the terrain. Maybe it's wooded terrain. You can't get the full-blown entrenchments, I guess, maybe? Alright, we're going to reinforce these guys who suffered some pretty heavy losses. So that gets all of them back up to strength. Pull these troops back. Alright, and then do we want to do anything with this cavalry or just have them dig in? These German troops aren't dug in, but I think we'll just could swing the cavalry into the rear. Reinforce those troops. We'll leave the cavalry here. They may draw some attacks, so we'll dig them in. And then we'll press more next turn, I think. Okay. Alright, that's it for that portion of the Eastern Front. I think the question is, what do we do with these Romanian troops? I mean, we can spend some money getting them back up to full strength. Let's also upgrade this Russian unit. So the Romanian army is fully reinforced now. So do we want to go to war with Bulgaria and by extension open a new front with the Ottomans? Well, we've kind of spent a lot of diplomatic pressure money to make sure that we don't go to war with them. By the way, Netherlands 43%, Norway's where? 3% despite all those protests. Sweden's at 27%. I think, you know, the other alternative is going after Hungary with the Romanian troops, which is actually leaning toward the Entente, so I don't know what the diplomatic reaction of that would be. Let's wait a turn in any event. Research for the Serbians. We should do mobility. We're almost up to our max research for them as well. Alright, so mobility for them. These troops will finish off the Germans on the northern coast. And then there's troops in Antwerp, which need to be dealt with. We'll get our artillery up there to help against those attackers. Let's bomb Antwerp, I guess. See what we can do here. We'll attack Antwerp. It has level 7 entrenchments, eh? But they only have 3 supply. Do the cavalry reduce the entrenchment at all? They don't. That's lame. I really shouldn't be taking these casualties. I should have waited to get the artillery in position and just not bothered. Okay. 10, 7, 1, pull the 1 out. Okay, I just need to get one more unit in there to finish him off. Hey everybody, how you guys doing tonight? Got him. Alright, so Antwerp falls. I don't know if that's a morale center or not. Meanwhile, I'm going to swap these frontline units around with some fresh level 1 trained troops. And actually, I can apparently move these guys and then upgrade them, so that's great. Okay. So actually, could I move these guys back one and then upgrade them? No. Well, that doesn't make any sense to me. But those guys can swap around and upgrade. Okay, I guess. Alright, so we've upgraded a good chunk of the French army. Let's go ahead and... I can't operate them. Damn. They're not on a rail line. Start moving my aircraft south, now that we've only got the border with Germany. Unless we wanted to go through the Netherlands. Alright, upgrade, nobody... That that unit. That cavalry unit. Oh, we can upgrade the fighters now too because they have the we have got the more advanced fighter force. Okay. All right. Meanwhile, reinforcements. I think all these guys fought, so no reinforcements for them. Okay. So Antwerp has fallen. German morale's down to 11% now. And we are poised for a breakout into Germany. Now, Germany's counterattacks have basically turned us back to the starting point of the war. Belgium has been completely liberated. Actually, there's still 2 hexes in Belgium that are in German... No, 1 hex in Belgian control, or German control of Belgium. But France itself, meanwhile, is almost also on the front line. Luxembourg is still in German control. Okay, we'll move these balloons. All right. Meanwhile, let's figure out where the German fleet is. So there's some mines up there. I don't want to move through the minefield. Naval mines! Shit. Do we have any lighter ships we can use to clear the mines that are in range? No. Alright, so what is this? A destroyer? Alright, I moved that guy through the minefield deliberately. So we just destroyed that enemy destroyer. Gives us a little bit of a national morale bonus. Meanwhile, we detected... What is this? An armored cruiser at Cuxhaven. There's also an enemy sub that's, I guess, trying to repair at Wilhelmshaven. 2-1-0, 10%. I don't know if that's a 10% chance for a 2-1. I think that was just port damage. 10% chance of actually hurting the sub, I think, is what it is. I kind of want to make sure he can't repair that sub, so... Not that, like, taking all this damage is probably worth it. But the enemy port is now down to 6 supply. I can't really see what the properties of the port are. Gonna stop doing that. Alright, so we have the enemy kind of sort of blockaded down here. This is almost certainly going to invite an enemy response. So let's race our level 9 battleship down here as well to take part in what we assume is coming. The enemy has 23 warships still. I'm not sure where they all are. Alright, well there's one of them. Can this Russian destroyer detect anything? Alright, so there's one of their battleships at Stratland. I'm guessing there's one at Stettin. I don't know if there's anything at Danzig or not. I don't think I've got the range to find out. The Russians have a little bit of money. We could use it to reinforce our fleet slightly. We also have another sub we can sail out this way. Okay, so we detected 2 more German battleships. So we've got the Bayern and the König both at full strength here down near Danzig. All right, we do have a new Russian sub, I think, right? So we'll deploy it to Petrograd. And then the French artillery we're going to put on the Western Front. All right, let's pull this guy back one and then put in that new artillery piece here. So we're getting a bunch more artillery this turn on the French side. The French have no more money, however, or no more items to spend their money on. I guess we could do that. One of these headquarters is French, right? This is Montenegro. I swear one of these guys, it's like a French commander. Okay, we're going to throw that guy in transports. Operate the French down here. Get them into port. Try and reinforce these guys. The some of the Greek ports are actually big enough to do full replacements for some warships. So like Athens, I think, can do full-blown up to 10 replacements of losses. So we're going to put one Indian Cavalry Corps and one French Colonial Corps and then a Royal Marine Corps. And maybe we'll land them in the Ottoman Empire. See if we can't take Gallipoli. Reinforce the Indomitable Battlecruiser to full strength. Any of the troops in Egypt need to be reinforced? Yeah, these guys. These guys can't move at all? Well, fuck, I landed them and they're gonna die? Shit. Can we say that again? Shit. Alright. Riyadh has fallen. God, these partisans' movement is so just bad. Alright, so we can pull these troops back. Move this cavalry in. So I'll take those casualties, move my cavalry forward, and then have them dig in. I don't care if it's only a backwater, Neuhauser. I still took it. It took me something. A backwater is still a backwater. You can't deny the logic of my statement. Alright. Really curious what the enemy has at Gallipoli. Probably like a garrison unit, I would guess. Okay. Can the French buy tanks yet? No. Armored warfare research. What level of armored warfare research do they need? Because the French are at 1 already for that armored warfare. They're at 2 for the tanks. They've already developed the max level of tanks here. Keep dumping money into the economy. I guess gas shells will be useful now that I'm going to be going bonkers with artillery, right? Okay. All right, and that's going to do it for this episode of Strategic Command World War I, episode number 18 in our Entente Let's Play series. Hope you guys are enjoying this series. We're coming to the conclusion of the war. The Germans are in dire straits, and I'm hopeful that this thing will be wrapped up very soon. But until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.